What is UP, my fellow Tolkienites? It's your host, back with another mind-blowing deep dive into the world of Middle-earth. And guys, this one is huge E. We're talking about a secret Tolkien hid in plain sight. The real names of our favorite characters. Buckle up, buttercups, because things are about to get linguistic.
That's right. Tolkien was a master of languages, and he created a whole system of names for his characters. That goes way deeper than what we see on the surface.
I'm talking about Westron people, the common speech of Middle-earth.
Yeah.
Like English in our world, Tolkien was sneaky, acting like he was just translating everything for us. But those English names, they're just the tip of the iceberg. Get ready to have your minds blown, because we're going full-on Western nerd today.
It all comes back to Tolkien's vision of himself as a translator. He wanted Middle-earth to feel real, to have a history that stretched back centuries.
He was playing the long game, building this whole world with its own languages and cultures. And you know what? It worked. But let's get to the good stuff, the names.
First up, our boy Bilbo Baggins. That's Bilba Labingi in Westron.
Bilba Labingi. Say it with me, people. It's got a ring to it, doesn't it? Like something straight out of the Shire. But what does it actually mean?
Well, Bilba seems to be a pretty standard Hobbit name. No big surprises there. But Labingi comes from Labin, which means bag in Westron.
Wait a second. So Tolkien basically just translated Baggins into Westron. That's hilarious. Like he wasn't even trying to hide it.
It does seem like a straightforward translation, but keep in mind, he often wanted to make sure the meaning was clear to English readers.
Okay. So maybe not the most mind-blowing reveal, but it's just the beginning, people.
Yeah.
What about Frodo? Surely Mr. Ringbearer had a more epic Westron name, right?
Frodo's Westron name was Mara Labingi.
Mara Labingi. Okay, I like the sound of that. It's got a certain gravitas, wouldn't you say?
Mara means wise or experienced in Westron.
Hold up. Wise and experienced. That's Frodo to a T. The dude literally carried the fate of Middle-earth on his shoulders. Tolkien was dropping some serious foreshadowing with that name.
It does seem rather fitting, considering the immense challenges Frodo faced.
All right, so Bilbo's name is basically Baggins in Westron, and Frodo's name means wise. But what about our boy Samwise Gamgee? What was Gardener of the Year called in the Shire's secret language?
Get ready for this one. Sam's Westron name is Banazir Galbasi.
Banazir Galbasi. Whoa, that's a mouthful. But wait, Banazir sounds kind of familiar.
That's because it means half-wise or simple.
Simple. And Galbasi means?
Gardener or game warden.
No way! Are you telling me that Samwise Gamgee literally translates to simple gardener in Westron? Tolkien, you sly dog. That is SO on point.
It certainly captures Sam's humble nature and devotion to his friend, doesn't it?
He might have been a simple gardener in name.
Yeah.
But we all know Sam was the real hero of the story. Okay, folks, we've covered the hobbits, but we're just scratching the surface. Next up, we're going to dive into the big names. Gandalf, Aragorn, even the Shire itself. Stay tuned, because things are about to get epic.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Westron, the language that's been hiding in plain sight in Middle-earth this whole time.
I am hyped. My brain is still buzzing from those Hobbit name reveals. Simple Gardener is going to be stuck in my head forever. But okay, I'm ready for more.
Well, we've been focusing on individual names so far, but there's a bigger picture here. Tolkien didn't just create Westron out of thin air. He gave it a history, a family tree, if you will, that connects it to other languages and cultures in Middle-earth.
Okay, so Westron had ancestors. Spill the tea.
Westron actually developed from a language called Adonic.
Adonic. That's a name that sounds like it's straight out of Tolkien dictionary. What's the story there?
Adonic was the language of Numenor, a lost island kingdom that played a huge role in shaping the history of Middle-earth.
Numenor. That's right. The Atlantis of Middle-earth. I knew that name rang a bell. Okay. So the Numenorians, they were like the big dogs, the OG civilization.
They were a powerful people known for their seafaring skills, their advanced knowledge, and their long lifespans. And when they established settlements in Middle-earth, they brought their language with them.
Okay, I'm seeing the connections here. So Adonic gets brought to Middle-earth. It mixes with other languages, things get shaken up a bit. And bam, Westron is born.
That's a great way to put it. Over time, Adonic blended with the languages spoken by the other people who were already living in Middle-earth, and it gradually transformed into the Westron we know.
So Westron is like a linguistic melting pot. It's got bits and pieces of all these different cultures and languages mixed in. That's awesome.
Exactly. It reflects the complex history of Middle-earth and shows how different groups interacted and influenced each other over time.
This is blowing my mind. It's like Tolkien created a whole linguistic family tree for Middle-earth. But wait, What about Adonic? What happened to that language? Did it just disappear?
It's interesting that you asked that, because Adonic actually survived in some form, even after Numenor Wells sank beneath the waves.
Wait, Numenor sank. Hold up. We need a whole other deep dive on that story. But for now, just tell me, how did Adonic survive if Numenor is like underwater?
Remember those Numenorian settlements we talked about? Some of those survived the downfall, and the people who lived in them clung to their traditions, including their language.
They're like little pockets of Numenorian culture, holding on for dear life. I get it.
And those pockets of Adonic would have continued to influence Westron, even as it spread, and became the common tongue. It's like a linguistic echo of a lost civilization.
Dude, that is deep. I'm getting chills over here.
Yeah.
So Adonic lives on, quietly shaping Westron from the shadows. But did any other languages leave their mark on the common speech?
We have to remember that Westron was spoken across a vast area encompassing many different regions and cultures.
Okay, so like different dialects popped up, like how we have British English and American English.
Yeah.
And Australian English, which is like a whole other thing.
Precisely. And those regional dialects would have absorbed influences from local languages, creating even more variations in how Westron was spoken.
It was making my brain hurt in the best possible way. So like a hobbit from the Shire wouldn't speak Westron, exactly the same way as, let's say, someone from Gondor.
That's right. Their versions of Westron would likely have subtle differences, reflecting the unique linguistic history of their respective regions.
Tolkien was a genius. He wasn't just creating languages, he was creating a whole linguistic ecosystem. It's like he built this massive language family tree and then scattered its branches all over Middle-earth.
It adds an incredible level of depth and realism to his world, even if readers aren't consciously aware of all these linguistic complexities.
Okay, so we got Adonaic lurking in the background. We've got regional dialects popping up all over the place. It's like a linguistic party in Middle-earth. But here's the big question, and I know you guys are thinking it too. How does this affect the stories? Why should we, the humble viewers, care about all this language nerdery?
That's the key question, isn't it? Because Tolkien the mastermind, he didn't just do this for fun, well, maybe a little for fun, but there's a deeper purpose here.
Hit me with it. I'm ready to be enlightened.
Think about the names we've discussed earlier. Bilba Labingi, Mara Labingi, Banazir Galbasi. Those names weren't chosen randomly. They were carefully crafted to reflect each character's personality and destiny.
Okay, so those Western names, they're like clues. They tell us something about the characters before we even know their whole story.
Exactly. Bilbo's name, with its connection to Bag, emphasizes his attachment to his home and possessions. Frodo's name, Mara, meaning wise, foreshadows his role as the ring-bearer.
And Sam the Simple Gardener. It's like Tolkien is telling us right from the start that this guy is all about humility, loyalty, and love for his friends.
He used language down to the very names of his characters to enhance the storytelling and create a sense of depth and meaning. It's brilliant.
This is insane. It's like we've been watching The Lord of the Rings in 2D, and now we've suddenly got the 3D glasses. Everything is clearer, more vibrant, more meaningful. But hold on, I got one more question, and it's a big one.
I'm all ears.
We've talked about how Westron evolved, how it's connected to other languages, how Tolkien used it to tell his stories. But what happened to Westron after The Lord of the Rings? Did it become the official language of the Fourth Age?
That's a fascinating question, and one that Tolkien, unfortunately, doesn't give us a definitive answer to.
Come on, Tolkien. You can't just leave us hanging like that.
But that doesn't mean we can't speculate, does it? We can use what we know about the history of languages and the events of the Fourth Age to imagine some possibilities.
I'm game. Let's get wild with those theories. Hit me.
One possibility is that Westron continued to evolve, to diversify, to split into new languages and dialects. Remember, the Fourth Age was a time of great change.
Right. New kingdoms formed, people migrated, cultures collided. It was a whole new world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with all those changes would have come linguistic shifts, new words, new pronunciations. Perhaps Westron became the parent language for a whole family of related languages, each reflecting the unique history and culture of its speakers.
So like how Latin evolved into all those Romance languages. French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese. It's like a linguistic explosion.
Precisely.
This is epic. We're talking about the birth of new languages. But wait, what if the opposite happened? What if Westron, faded away?
That's certainly another possibility. The Fourth Age saw the decline of men and the rise of the elves and hobbits.
And they had their own languages, right? Sindarin for the elves,
Yeah.
and all those Hobbit dialects.
Yes. Perhaps as the elves and hobbits regained prominence, Their languages experienced a resurgence, and Westron, once the dominant tongue, might have gradually slipped into obscurity.
So it's like Western became the ancient Greek of Middle-earth, the language of dusty scrolls and forgotten lore.
That's a poetic way of putting it. It's fascinating to consider how the linguistic landscape of Middle-earth might have shifted. In the centuries following The Lord of the Rings,
Dude, my brain is officially on fire. We've gone from Bilbo's secret name to the rise and fall of entire languages. Tolkien was a linguistic sorcerer, I swear.
Yep.
But hey, viewers, don't worry, we're not done yet. We've got one more part to this epic deep dive.
There's one final piece of the puzzle we need to explore.
Stay tuned for part 3, where we uncover the ultimate secret of Westron and its legacy. We'll dive into how Tolkien's linguistic creations have influenced fantasy literature and inspired language nerds like us.
Don't miss it.
All right, my friends, welcome back for the grand finale
Yeah.
of our Western extravaganza. We've scaled the linguistic mountains of Middle-earth, uncovered the secrets behind those familiar names, and even dared to ponder the fate of languages in the mysterious Fourth Age. But now, in this final act, we're stepping up our game. We're going to explore something even bigger, something that bursts out of the pages of Tolkien's books and leaps into our world. We're talking about the legacy of Westron.
Yes, indeed. Westron, and indeed all of Tolkien's languages, have had a profound impact on fantasy literature and beyond. It's a legacy that continues to inspire and influence us to this day.
Okay, expert speaker, lay it on me. What kind of legacy are we talking about here?
Well, first and foremost, Tolkien's work, particularly his meticulous creation of languages, has inspired countless other fantasy authors and language creators.
Tolkien was like the OG language nerd, paving the way for all the other word wizards out there. Like, without Tolkien, would we even have Dothraki in Game of Thrones or Klingon in Star Trek?
It's impossible to say for sure, but Tolkien's influence on the genres of fantasy and science fiction is undeniable. Before Tolkien, fantasy languages were often just gibberish, random sounds strung together with no real thought behind them.
But Tolkien, he didn't just make up words. He created entire linguistic systems with grammars, histories, cultural connections. He went all in.
Exactly. He demonstrated that languages could be powerful tools for world building, for deepening characterization, for creating a truly immersive experience for the reader.
So he raised the bar for everyone who came after him. He showed the world that language creation could be an art form in itself.
Precisely. And his influence can be seen in the works of countless authors and creators who have followed in his footsteps, crafting their own intricate languages for their fictional worlds.
Okay, that is seriously cool. Tolkien, the linguistic trailblazer.
Hmm.
But I have a feeling there's even more to this legacy thing, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about inspiring other creators, is it?
You're right. There's another aspect of Westron's legacy that I think is particularly relevant to us today. Think about its role as the common tongue, the language that united all the different peoples of Middle-earth, despite their diverse cultures and histories.
Yeah, it's like even though everyone had their own languages, they could still come together and communicate with each other. Thanks to Westron, it broke down barriers.
Precisely. Westron facilitated trade diplomacy, the sharing of knowledge and stories. It allowed different groups to cooperate and coexist, even in times of conflict.
Wow, I never thought about it that way before. So in a way, Westron represents the possibility of understanding and connection, even in a world that's full of differences.
Exactly, and that message I think is particularly powerful in today's world where we're constantly confronted with division and conflict. It reminds us that communication, empathy, and finding common ground are essential for building a better future.
Man, Tolkien was a genius on so many levels. He was weaving in these profound messages about unity and understanding all through his fictional languages. It's incredible.
And that message resonates with readers on a deep level, I think. It gives us hope that even in a world as complex and challenging as ours, we can still find ways to connect with each other and build bridges across divides.
Okay, I am officially mind blown, but expert speaker, I have one last question for you. We've talked about how Tolkien's languages have inspired other creators and how they carry these powerful messages with unity and understanding. But what about us, the Tolkien fans, the language nerds, the Western enthusiasts? What does his legacy mean for us?
For many of us, Tolkien's languages are more than just fictional constructs. They're gateways to a world of imagination and creativity.
Yeah, like we can learn these languages, write stories in them, create art inspired by them. The possibilities are endless.
Exactly. Tolkien's languages have fostered vibrant online communities where enthusiasts from all over the world come together to study, translate, and even create new words and phrases. It's a testament to the enduring power of his work.
There are people out there having conversations in Elvish, aren't there? That is some serious dedication.
It speaks to the deep connection people feel to Tolkien's world and the desire to explore it further, to delve into its hidden depths.
Okay, that is so cool. It's like Tolkien created this amazing world, and now we get to continue building on it, expanding it, through language.
It's a testament to the power of imagination and the ability of language to transcend boundaries and connect people across cultures and time.
Wow, that was an incredible journey. We've gone from Bilbo Baggins' secret name to the profound impact of fictional languages on our world. This is why I love deep dives. We get to learn so much, and it always sparks even more curiosity.
It's been a pleasure exploring this topic with you.
All right, my fellow Tolkienites, that wraps up our Western adventure. I hope your brains are buzzing with linguistic goodness. Remember, the world of language is vast and full of wonder, so go forth and explore, learn a new language, create your own, or just appreciate the beauty of the words around you. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic deep dives into the nerdy stuff. That makes life awesome. See ya.